Okay, hi there again. So, I decided to put another point into health. Next level I will also put into health. I thought that I will do a 3-to-1 build. Also, here I unlocked the Puncture 1, which is the first ability. Can I put this away? No. Hi, Captain Rana.
I'm short on good help, and I could use someone capable. Someone like you.
How did I get here? Did you bring me here?
A fisherman found you washed up on the beach. He brought you back to town. It's a miracle you survived.
Nice, so what now?
You're the one Holsgar pulled out of the water. I'm glad you're up. I could use your help.
You wanted to speak with me?
You've seen combat, and I need all the help I can get today. Villagers are scattered across the island. We need to warn them.
Warn them? Why?
We sighted a ship offshore. I've sent my troops to investigate. If it's the vanguard of an invasion, well, we'll need to evacuate.
Yeah. Seems that way. So, where should I start looking?
You'll find the people of Bleak Rock all across the island. Darj, the hunter, went to Skyshroud Barrow. Iman's out at Orky's Hollow with his sister Rolanda. Sane, my sergeant, is out at Hosen's Folly.
What is Skyshroud Barrow? That sounds interesting.
It's an old dragon shrine. It's a relic of the Dragon Wars. Some of the villagers claim they saw undead out there. I sent Darj out to get proof.
Okay, but tell me about Orky's Hollow.
Locals claim it's haunted. They dare each other to spend a night inside. It's a silly custom, but a harmless one.
Hosen's Folly? What's that?
It's an abandoned mine. A family came out from Stone Falls to work the place. Rumor has it, they're Daedra worshippers. Now some bandits are hunting through the place, and we need to know why.
Okay. I think we should leave the Dragon Shrine as the last. Let's go to Orky's Hollow, maybe? Let's go there first.
Locals claim it's haunted.
I start
Tilrani Snowbird
there.
adopted Iman and Rolanda after their parents died. She won't leave without them. Send them back here, then see who else you can find.
Can I ask a few questions?
I'll answer what I can. Captain Tilrani's got the villagers thinking I'm an addled netch, but I'm actually a bit smarter than that.
How did you end up here?
Posted to this backwater, you mean? I made a hasty decision. A bad call. Soldiers died. I learned my lesson. Now I don't act without proof.
Yep. What does Tilrani have against you?
I took her job. You might have heard her yelling about that in the square. It's petty, but what can I do? Every time I've reached out to her, she's slapped my hand.
Huh. Well, what can I do? So, he's jealous, kinda. Could you tell me about the races of the Pact, maybe?
I'm not a scholar, but I'll tell you what I know.
Tell me about the Argonians.
The Argonians are a mystery to me. The ones I've met keep to themselves. Good scouts, I'll give them that. Not long ago, the Dunmer held them as slaves. That ended with the founding of the Pact. Now, we're all best friends.
What
I'm
else?
not a scholar, but I'll tell you what I know.
So what about the Dark Elves?
Other than our beauty, brains, and rapier wit, we proudly work to enact the will of the Tribunal, our living gods. If the Nords are the heart of the Pact, and the Argonians are the soul, the Dark Elves are the brains.
Makes sense.
I'm not a scholar, but I'll tell you what I know.
What do you know about my own race, the Nords?
A Nord asking me about Nords. Clever, for a Nord. Honestly, your people impress me. Most I've met are stout and adventurous. Strong of arm and heart. Good folk.
Thank you. Goodbye. Find Damon and Rolunda. Can I read anything here? Rana's log. I've been exiled. I'm commanding a garrison of stinging Nords, and you can't find this place on a map. If Zane hadn't come with me, I would be the only dark elf on the island. She gave up so much to be here, I can never repay her loyalty. I'm determined not to let this bleak rock break me. 2E581, Rain's handlock complete. The Rani still acts as if I just got here. My time with the villagers when I was in command of the garrison means nothing to her. I will make her understand Bleak Rock is my home now, no mistakes. 2E581, Sun's height lock complete. The lights in the sky have caused a panic in town. We all know there are powers at work in Nim. Most of these folk haven't so much as spoken with a mage. How can they understand something like mystical lights in the sky? Frostfall log complete. In the wake of the lights, strange corpses floated ashore. Dilran instructed some of the men to burn the corpses right there on the beach. I asked her to wait to let me check with Wilhelm first. She refused. Damn that woman. I have ordered the garrison to be on guard. Something's in the air. Morningstar log complete. Holskar found someone alive along the beach. He claimed the castaway wasn't wet. How could someone float ashore without getting wet? Snowborn can be stuffed. I'm writing a letter to headquarters. They need to weigh in on this. Last night I had a dream about our castaway. If the Rani heard I was having strange dreams, she would have Denskar lock me in his barn. In the dream, the newcomer stood in front of me and beckoned me forward. I felt compelled to advance, as if it was important somehow. I don't know what it means, but I need to talk to this newcomer, assuming the poor strange ever wakes up. Our man on the tower sighted a ship on the horizon, couldn't make out the flag. The Rani is furious, says we need to evacuate. That's the kind of thinking that got me here in the first place. I have put Rantin in charge of the men and sent them out on the boat. Zane and I will handle the situation here on the island. Whatever happens, we need to proceed carefully. We need a measured response. Letter to Rana. Katerana, in light of your actions, I have no choice but to strip you of your command and rank. Your time at the Pelagia garrison is over. Tomorrow you will appear before a court-martial. They will decide your ultimate fate. May the three have mercy on your breathing soul. The court will not. General Wayne Redoran, Vivek Harrison. Aww. Rislav the Writers Part 1. Rislav the Writers Part 1 by Sinjin. Oh, skill line gain, medium armor, yay! Like all true heroes, Rislav Larish had inauspicious beginnings. We are told by chroniclers that the Springtide Night, in the 448th year of the First Era on which he was born, was unseasonably cold, and that his mother Queen Linada died very shortly after setting eyes upon her son. If he were much beloved of his father, King Morus of Skingrad, who already had plenty of heirs, 3 sons and 4 daughters before him, the chroniclers make no mention of it. His existence was so very undistinguished that we hear virtually nothing of him for the first 20 years of his life. His schooling, we can suppose, was similar to that of any spare prince in the Colovian West, with Thylade tutors to teach him the ways of hunting and battle. Etiquette, religious instruction, and even basic statecraft were seldom a part of the training of a prince of the Highlands, as it was in the more civilized valley of Nibenai. There is a brief reference to him, together with his family, as part of the rolls of honor during the coronation of the Emperor Corius on the 23rd of Sun's Dawn, 1E461. The ceremony, of course, held during the time of the Alessian doctrines of Maruk, and so was without entertainment, but the 13-year-old Rislav was still witness to some of the greatest figures of legend The beast of Anaquin, Tarlok Prae, represented his kingdom, giving honor to the empire. The chieftain of Skyrim, Kiorik the White, and his son, Hoag, were in attendance. And despite the empire's intolerance of all elves, Kimeri Indoril, Nervar, and Dwemer Tumak, Dwarf King, were evidently there as well, diplomatically representing Crestane, all in relative peace. Also mentioned on the rolls was a young mare in service of the imperial court of High Rock, who was to have a great history with Rislav, Ryan Direni. Whether the two young men of about the same age met and conversed is entirely the stuff of historian fancy. Ryan is spoken of in praising words as a powerful landowner, eventually buying the island of Palfiera in the Isle Bay, and gradually conquering all of High Rock and large parts of Hammerfell and Skyrim, but Rislav is not heard of again in history's books for another 17 years. We can only offer supposition based on the facts that follow. Children of kings are, of course, married to their children of other kings to bind alliances. The kingdoms of Skingrad and Quatch skirmished over common territory throughout the 5th century, until they reached a peace in the year 472. The details of this accord are not recorded, but since we know that Prince Rislav was in the court of Quatch 6 years later, as husband to Belen, the daughter of King Justinius, it is fair to make an educated guess that they were married then to make peace. This brings us to the year 478, when a great plague swept through all of Cyrodiil, and seemed particularly concentrated in the independent Colovian West. Among the victims were King Morus and the rest of the entire royal family in Skingrad. Rislav's only surviving elder brother Thorald survived, being in the imperial city as a priest of Maruk. He returned to his homeland to assume the throne. Of Thorald we have some history. The king's second son, he was slightly simple-minded and evidently very pious. All the chroniclers spoke of his sweetness and decency, how he saw a vision in his early years that brought him, with his father's blessing, from Skingrad to the imperial city and priesthood. The priesthood of Maruk, of course, saw no difference between spiritual and political matters. It was the religion of the Alessian Empire, and it thought that to resist the emperor was to resist the gods. Given that, it is scarcely a surprise what Thorald did when he became king of the independent kingdom of Skingrad. His first edict on his very first day was to cede the kingdom to the empire. The reaction throughout the Colovian estates was shock and outrage, nowhere more so than in the court of Quatch, Rislav Vlaric, who we are told rode forth to his brother's kingdom together with his wife and 24 of his father-in-law's cavalry. It was surely not an impressive army, no matter how the chroniclers embellish it. But they had little trouble defeating all the gods Thorald sent to stop them. In truth, there was no actual battling, for the soldiers of Skingrad resented their new king's decision to give up their autonomy. The brothers faced one another in the castle courtyard where they had grown up. In typical Colovian fashion, there was no trial, no accusations of treason, no jury, no judge, only an executioner. Thou art no brother of mine, Rislav Vlaric said, and struck Thorald's head from his shoulders in one blow. He was crowned king of Skingrad, still holding the same bloody axe in his arms. Whoa. Interesting. Oh, clothing increased to 2. The year 2920, Vol 3. 2920, the last year of the First Era. By Karlovik, Townway. 21 Morningstar, Mornhold, Morrowind. Why don't you wear that green gown I gave you? He asked the Duke of Mornhold, watching the young maiden put on her clothes. It doesn't fit, smiled Durala, And you know I like red. It doesn't fit because you're getting fat, laughed the Duke, pulling her down on the bed, kissing her breasts and the pouch of her stomach. She laughed at the tickles, but pulled herself up, wrapping her red robe around her. I'm round like a woman should be, said Turala. Will I see you tomorrow? No, said the Duke. I must entertain Vivek tomorrow, and the next day the Duke of Ebonheart is coming. Do you know, I never really appreciated Almalexia and her political skills until she left. It is the same with me, smiled Turala. You will only appreciate me when I'm gone. That's not true at all, snorted the Duke. I appreciate you now. Turala allowed the Duke one last kiss before she was out the door. She kept thinking about what he said. Would he appreciate her more or less when he knew that she was getting fat because she was carrying her child? Would he appreciate her enough to marry her? Maybe we'll find out in World 4. Possibly. Is there anything else we can read? Hi. Oops. Can I talk to you? Hi, Matter.
Good to see you up and around. Figured you were crossing the bridge to Sovngarde for sure.
No, goodbye. Too bad. I hoped I could talk to you. I guess I should look around more. Ghosts of Glenumbra by Jean Duthail. Glenumbra is notorious for being haunted. It is important to explain what I mean by haunted. Not every undead is a haunt. Only ghosts can cause a haunting. Ghosts are the spirits of people who were once as alive as you or I. When they died, they refused to leave. If at any point you experience the dark effects of necromancy, know that this is not a haunting and should be reported to the proper authorities. Everyone in Glenumbra has a tale to tell about a spook, spectre, or haunt. You need only ask. Without a doubt, the most haunted place in Glenumbra are the moors northwest of Altcroft. As everyone knows, this was the site of the Battle of Glenumbria Moors. In the First Era, this great battle saw the near simultaneous destruction of both the Alessian Order and the Tyrreni Elves on one field of battle. Such a tragedy suffuses this place with spectral energy. Wandering moors, many travelers report hearing the sounds of conflict in the distance. The second most haunted place in Glenumbra is directly related to the first. Cut Petrod and the burial mounds surrounding it began as a mass grave for the fallen soldiers of the Battle of Glenumbria Moors. It is advised that you do not stray into the cemetery during times of heavy fog. Ghostly lights and moans have been reported there. While some consider the woodlands of Dania to be haunted, this is actually a misconception. Many spirits of nature, including the famed guardians, inhabit the Wayland Forest. These are not ghosts, for they were never people. These creatures were born as spirits and should be treated with the respect they deserve. Harkening from Glenumbra's past of feudal division, the countryside is dotted with ruins and castles, each of which you could probably find someone to tell you a spooky story about. In particular, the ruins at Palmborn Rock and Dresan Keep have many a local legend surrounding them. If of all the haunted sites in Glenumbra, I would give strongest caution against the trip to the village of Westry. Westry suffered some form of terrible magic event that has left it infested with the undead. It is not safe, nor would I suggest anyone go ghost hunting there. I'll keep that in mind. Matter's journal. That's the innkeeper. Matter's journal. Saw a strange light out over the water last night. I've seen the auroras do some strange things, but never anything quite like this. Corpses washed up on the shore. They were dressed strangely, as if they were from far-off lands. I have no idea where they came from. Dilrani said to send them on the Sovngarde with honors, so we did. Hoskar found someone on the shore, shivering in the cold, but not wet. just damp where they were lying in the snow. Would have died without care. He dragged the body back to town and stuck it in one of the spare beds. Hopefully the poor soul will survive the night. That was me. Blicker Kyle is over there. I guess there is nothing more in here. Alright. Just so you know, there will be a lot of reading in this series. Because there is a lot to read in this world. Okay, I will keep that in mind. Don't worry. Now where do I have to go? Over there. Hi.
Move along.
Okay.
Hello.
I can't talk to these people. Oh, I can. Oscar.
Good to see you again, mate.
Have we met?
You were unconscious at the time. I found you by the shore and brought you back to town. Marthor's been clucking over you since. So, what happened to you? Shipwreck?
I don't think you would believe me if I told you.
I've been drinking stout all day. If you told me your Arkatosh come to grant my wishes, I might just believe it. We have a sailing caravel. If it comes back, you can take it back to the mainland.
What do you mean, if it comes back?
Some hours ago, the garrison spotted a ship sailing east. That young dark elf, Captain Rana, loaded up most of the troops in the caravel and sent them to take a look.
It hasn't been seen since.
That ship's a wallowing merchantman, not a warship. Like as not, they're all in the teeth of the ocean now. Which leaves this a fort without a garrison. No good comes of that, I says.
Are you a miller?
I'm the miller. The big windmill yonder? Mine. Not that I often have work. Nothing much grows here. Every month or so we load our caravel with fish and trade them for grain in solitude. It's not efficient to mill it here, but it is cheap.
You greeted me as if we had met.
You were unconscious
yeah.
at the time. I found you by the shore.
I was in
and brought you back to
oblivion.
town.
Moloch Bal stole my
Marthor's
soul.
been clucking over you. You seem spry for a soulless corpse. What does that mean? We don't need our souls? Ah, stout always gets me philosophical. I should stick to mead.
What do you think I should do?
I should know. Follow your heart and keep off the skooma, I suppose. Seriously, I'd get your soul back. I bet it's important. Our caravel can take you to the mainland if it comes back.
What do you do?
I'm the miller. The big windmill yonder? Mine.
Goodbye. Alright, I have to go that way. Hi,
I've got a lot of work to do. Sorry.
are the pigs keeping you busy?
It's not the pigs. I love these pigs. They're like messy kids. It's all the other work I have to do around here. And for what? Look at this place. Nothing grows here.
Then why do you live here?
Ask myself that every night as I lie in the loft. Life's got to be better in Windhelm or Riften. Just a couple more seasons and I'm leaving. Father can hire some help.
Goodbye. I like that you can just talk to some of the people and get more interesting world building. Ira, Earth Turner.
That daughter of mine. You mark my words. She'll never amount to anything.
Why do you say that?
She spends all day with the blacksmith. She wants to move to the mainland and spend her life at a forge. That nice fisherman, Ultragar, has been trying to woo her for months. She won't even listen to him.
Okay. So, blacksmith.
What?
Maybe I can talk to them. Oh, you're here.
I'm glad you're awake. When Husgard brought you in, everyone thought for sure you'd die.
Are you a blacksmith?
Huh? Do I look like one? I'm glad you have to ask. I'm just Maisa's apprentice, so far anyway. She's been teaching me for about a year now.
Do you enjoy the work?
Ah yes. We start with a lump of metal and end up with something useful. Horseshoes and nails and swords and what's not. I hear there are other kinds of crafters on the mainland, but I'd never be anything but a smith.
Why not?
Have you seen the size of Maisa's arms? Hosgar says she once punched out a mammoth. Smithing is a great way to let out frustration, especially after Otagar comes over.
Who's Otragar?
He's a fisherman. Fisher lad. He stops by every day to see me. He's always making dirty comments. Someday, my dad's going to hurt him.
Oh, it's that guy. Interesting. Can I talk to someone else here? That's their house. Alchemist.
Times like these, it pays to know the art of alchemy. Reagents are more dangerous to acquire, sure, but everyone wants potions. Very profitable.
How does alchemy work exactly?
Alchemy is the art of creating potions. We scour the fields and caves of Tamriel in search of reagents like mushrooms, flowers, and the like. Mixing these ingredients with a water solvent in correct quantities can create powerful elixirs.
Plants and water, that's it?
Well, not just any water will do. You'll find that some pools of water contain special qualities that make them ideal for potion making. The grade of the water determines the potency of the product.
Does it matter what reagents I use?
All reagents have hidden properties. When they are combined with other ingredients that bestow the same benefits, the potency is compounded. This reaction determines the nature of the potion. It's just a matter of experimentation, you see.
Nice. Goodbye. That's interesting to know. Hi, Panker.
Take a load off. Our banks are the most secure places in all Tamriel. We pride ourselves on our services.
Okay. Can't talk to you. Measure run.
Pains me to think of leaving this place behind. But maybe it's time I did. The danger is too great.
Can you tell me about enchanting?
Of course. Enchanting is the art of empowerment. We gather runes found throughout the world, and use our special instruments to assemble them into glyphs. These glyphs can be used to magically enhance worn or wielded items.
So I'll have to find all these runes in the wild?
Not exactly. Runes can be extracted from glyphs you find while adventuring. It's a delicate process, so you'll have to return to one of our workstations to proceed. Note that the glyph will be destroyed in the process. Unfortunate, but necessary.
So how exactly do the gloves work?
Glyphs are assembled by combining 3 different runes. Potency runes determine the glyph's strength. Aspect affects the glyph's quality. Finally, the essence rune decides the glyph's effect. It's a delicate art, best learned by doing. Good luck.
Thank you. Oh, it's you again.
Good to see you again.
And here's Maisa.
Ah, our mysterious guest. My husband Holsgar was the one who found you. If you're looking to buy supplies, you've come to the right place.
Where did Holskar find me?
You washed up on the shore. Strangest thing, your clothes weren't wet when we found you.
Interesting.
Ah,
I'd
our
like to learn more
mysterious
about
guest.
blacksmithing.
We put hammer to anvil to forge armor and weapons. This requires a lot of metal. We scour hills and caves looking for rare ores to work. Raw materials will only take you so far. You need style books and special ingredients for more advanced work.
I'm sure there's a lot to learn.
You bet. A true blacksmith can read the metal to determine its potential. During the forging process, we can choose a trait that best fits the item, provided we've done our research. Additional sharpening, extra weight, these are just examples.
Is there more to it?
Well, the piece can be augmented even more through the use of tempers. These elements can enhance the value and quality of your work. Of course, no worthwhile endeavor comes without risk. Trying to improve an item can result in breaks, so be careful.
Okay. Interesting. Through there.
Crafting warm, sturdy clothing is the most important job on the island. Think you're up for it? I've got a few goods you might like. Take a look.
What exactly does a clothier do?
We tan, weave, stitch, you name it. People in search of medium and light armor come to us. This requires fibers, leather, and a work table like those found in town. We also seek out style books and special ingredients for more advanced work.
I assume there's more to it than tanning and weaving. Of course there is.
Yes, of course. During the tailoring process, we can choose a special trait for the work. It takes research to discover these techniques, but it's well worth the effort. Reinforced buckles, intricate detail work, each brings a special benefit.
What else is involved?
Well, the piece can be improved even more through the use of tannins. These elements can enhance the value and quality of your work. Just be cautious. You risk ruining the piece if you're not careful. Improving on perfection is no mean feat.
Huh. Oh, hello. Sardor?
Most Nords don't really appreciate the gift of magic or what I do. Including me. I'd rather be a lumberjack.
Oh, you. Sharla?
Thirsty? Brew your own!
Aw. Small meals, fast meals. Pie runs in wild. Rabbit, very fast but delicious. Stew, or braise. And sell the ears in town. Crow, good crunch. Reminds me of fenhen, seasoned with pamphor. Dog, do not eat in front of allies. Nords take offense as it's one of their sacred animals. Pet instead. Cat, delicious. Again, do not eat in front of allies. Another sacred animal. Take from the street and make sure to hide the tails. Goat, everything but the horns are too tough. Wolf rat. Based in wild bear, delicious. You get thanks from sailors too. Monkey, so cute but gamey. Smear, on dragon's tongue sap and based in tail all rum. Whoa. Well, that went extreme. Roy Panettone.
Hey there. Hungry? I'm your woman.
Perifanim.
I don't remember why I came here, but I have every regret for doing so. If I could move backwards through time, I would slap myself.
Aw. Can you tell me about provisioning?
Of course. We provisioners practice the arts of cooking and brewing. Good food requires the best ingredients. We gather fresh meat and produce from crates, barrels, and the like. If we're lucky, we'll also find recipes in chests, trunks, and desks.
So you get the ingredients and recipes, what then?
Once you've copied the recipe down and acquired the necessary ingredients, that's when the real fun begins. Cooking pots and rotisseries can be found all over. You need only find one, select a recipe, and then indulge in the simple joy of cooking.
What sort of food can I make?
Don't forget drink. Hearty meals will fill your belly, increasing your general well-being, both body and soul. Strong drink can stimulate the humours, allowing you to recover more quickly. If you're lucky, you might find a recipe that does both.
That's a hint. Blacksmithing basics. By Zegrad Tush, Orc forge wives say they're the only ones who know how to smith. I say mud crabs to that. I'll show you how to find ore, extract ingots from the ore, explain crafting styles, and then teach you how to craft a weapon. Soon enough you will call yourself a blacksmith. Step 1. Get some iron ore. Iron ore is the simplest to work and easy to replace if you make a mistake. Look for rusty dull rock near big rock outcroppings. Then you mine it. If you don't mine it yourself, buy it from people who mine it. Or ask a friend to loan you some. When you have 10 chunks of iron ore, you're ready for the next step. Step 2. Refine ingots. Find a blacksmithing station, then make iron ingots from your 10 chunks of iron ore. This is called refinement. If you want to know why, ask a forge wife. Step 3. Choose a style. Every race has a style of blacksmithing and each favors a traditional material. I call this a style material because it's easy to remember. The orc style works best for me, but I'm an orc. If you're a Nord, start with material for the Nord style. Blacksmiths sell them. If you can't find them anywhere else. Step 4. Make an iron dagger. Iron daggers are easy to make. You need 1 style material, 2 iron ingots, and a steady hand with a hammer. When you have these things, find a blacksmithing station and craft an iron dagger. For better quality blades, use more ingots to make it, but for now, use 2 iron ingots. That is a reference to Skyrim. I remember that. Step 5. Admire your iron dagger. Take a moment to admire your work. It's not just an iron dagger. You pulled metal from the ground and forged into a tool that can end lives. Respect what you have made. Forge wives won't be impressed with your iron dagger, but what do they know? You're a blacksmith if you do the work, not if you marry into it. Remember, iron daggers today, ebony greatswords tomorrow. Appendix. Advanced smithing. If you really want to show up the forge wives, you need to know more than just iron daggers. Improving weapons and armor. Use a temper to improve weapons and armor you've smithed. I call them that because I can never find one when I need it. This always makes me lose temper. When you find one, bring it to a blacksmithing station with the item you want to improve. The more tempers you have, the greater the chance to improve the quality. But this is not a guarantee. If you do it wrong, you'll lose the tempers and the item. Deconstruction. If you're short on materials, you can deconstruct them from weapons or armor. You'll destroy the item when you break it down, and you'll only salvage part of what went into making it. But it's a quick way to get ingots. Researching traits. One way to annoy a forge wife is to buy her finest items, take them apart and research the best traits of her weapons and armor. Then you can make copies of her best work and sell them for less. Do it all on her own blacksmithing station if you really want to make her angry. The Clothier's Primer by the Shattered Mask. Future challengers, the Shattered Mask has fought far too many opponents who fail to realize the importance of proper footwear. This basic primer will teach you how to... There is a typo. This basic primer will teach you how to make a simple pair of homespun shoes. If we are to face each other in the blessed crucible, I want you to fall because of my unmatched skill, not your pathetic boot stitching. Step 1. Acquire jute. Raw jute is cheap, plentiful, and easy to weave. Look for the distinctive yellow flowers in the wild. I suppose you could pay someone to pick them for you, and it's that kind of laziness I look forward to punishing in the arena. Step 2. Refine cloth. You can work with raw jute at any clothing station. Professional clothier call this process refinement, which can be done with any raw material. For now, you'll need 10 raw jute pounds to make the refined jute you need for shoes. Unless working a loom is beneath you, weakling. Step 3. Style. Clothiers from now all across Tamriel have their own cultural style. You need style to make an impression in the dueling ring. So find the style material that's easiest for you to work. If you're an old, start with materials for the Nord style, purchasing it from the clothiers, or take them from your whimpering defeated enemies. Step 4. Craft your shoes. Bring your style material and 5 bolts of jute to a clothing station. Remember, refined jute, not raw jute plants. Now get to work and craft yourself a pair of homespun shoes. You can use more bolts for better quality shoes, but you should start with 5 bolts. Easy work, as easy as it will be for me to crush your pathetic and deluded hopes of winning the Brimstone Crown. Making clothes of the Shattered Mask way. Any arena fighter worth their salt doesn't stop with a simple pair of shoes. Try making a pair of rawhide boots for added protection, or a colorful sash to make you stand out in the ring. If you get the hang of this clothier business, you'll even have a trade to fall back upon after I thoroughly humiliate you in front of everyone you have ever loved. Improving your shoes. The art of improving the shoes you make, or any other bit of clothing really, requires you to work with tannins at a clothing station. If you aren't careful, you'll ruin the clothing and the tannins in the process. Use as many tannins as you think you'll need. Find them on your own. I won't make everything easy for you. Deconstruction. Maybe you're the kind of person who cuts corners. If you don't have time to collect raw materials, you can always deconstruct clothing you no longer need. This will destroy the clothing, but maybe you'll salvage enough to make a hat bag and knock off your head. researching traits. By now you're thinking, I need an edge if I'm going to dare to fight the Shattered Mask. You could always research unique traits of items made by better clothiers than you by taking their clothing apart and studying the techniques. Anything to boost your confidence long enough for me to stomp it into dust. This guy. Contracts and bounties. Fangsnout, werewolf, murdered 3 women near Mixwater Ford, check. Bucktooth, rabbit, bear, killed the Skald as he traveled between Windhelm and Eldergleam Sanctuary, check. Skin Ripper, troll father, head of a line of man-eaters near Cragwallow, check. Deathclaw, giant bat, down 3 herds of sheep near Guinness Grove. That's what I can do. I can read this too. Basic Provisioning Guide by Cloelius Malukinensis, Supply Sergeant 7th Legion. In my 20 years as supply captain for the 7th Imperial, I learned one absolute truth. Provisioning is the same whether feeding yourself or an entire army. Per Magus General Septima Tan's request, I will share what I know to aid the provisioners of less accomplished legions. Step 1. Acquire ingredients. When you are in the field, your backpack is the only pantry upon which your soldiers can rely. Requisition anything you can find. Every barrel, chest or sack of grain should make its contribution to our cause. As an Imperial soldier, you have the right to requisition as much as you want, but use discretion. A citizen with an empty larder will have long memories of Imperial imposition. A single handful scoop or item from each barrel, chest or sack is my simple rule. Step 1. Acquire recipes. Never forget that you are a provisioner, not a chef. You aren't cooking personal meals for the Duchess of Shadinhal. It doesn't matter how the food tastes as long as it feeds your cohort. You want recipes that are fast, simple and best made in bulk. Take roasted chicken breast, a meal that requires poultry. It doesn't matter that you know the ingredients required. Without the proper recipe, they're just raw meat. Locals always have their own ways to prepare local ingredients, so stay vigilant for recipes while requisitioning supplies. Step 3. Cook, book, cook. Once you have learned the recipe, bring those ingredients to a cooking fire, then cook them. Don't burn the food. Remember to serve your cohort what it needs most. Scouts and skirmishers need plenty of vegetables. Mages in your cohort are best fed. Fruits. Infantry can always use hearty meat dishes. Never forget that a hot meal can make the difference between life and death. Addendum. Brewing on the go. I hear enough questions about brewing to warrant its own section. I recommend you never keep more than a flask of fine brew with you. Your cohort will know it's a prize for those who truly distinguish themselves. Yet sometimes the cohort needs liquid courage, such as before a battle or a parade review. This is when I brew horrible swill from local recipes, both to shock the soldiers into a state of confident readiness and to keep them from growing fond of the stuff. Step 1 and 2 are identical to the similar steps of cooking. As for the third, step 3, brew, brew, brew. Once you have learned the recipe, bring those ingredients to a cooking fire, then brew them. Don't spoil the drink. I often present the excess brew to the locals who donated the ingredients in the first place. This is not Imperial requisition policy, but it helps my cohort stay in their future good graces should they suffer a retreat due to the actions of less stalwart legions. Interesting. And there is one more book here. Oh, there are 2 more books. Enchanting Made Easy by Fishes for Runes. Anyone can become an enchanter. It doesn't matter who you are or who you were. I spent 20 years pulling fish from the waters of Blackmarsh before stumbling into the world of enchanting. If a former Argonian fisher slave can figure it out, so can you. Step 1. Find runes. Years ago I noticed glowing runes when I fished in Blackmarsh. At first I thought they were wisps. You are most likely to find them in dangerous places, so be careful. Look for the angular stones where the runes set. Red aspect runes remind me of fish. The minnows are plentiful but don't have much flesh on their bones, while the old grandfathers are the rarest but the richest catch. Blue potency runes make me think of a fish's flavor. The good ones can improve your day, while the bad ones are the best fed to your enemies. Green essence runes are like the type of fish. Frost fish, armor fish, poison fish, you get the idea. Some people ask me why there are runes scattered throughout Tamriel, but that's a question for the Mages Guild. I have never asked where the fish come from, just where I can find more of them. I should mention, I can't actually see colors. If you're like me, you want to look for the brightness of the rune. Aspect runes are quite dim, potency runes are bright, and essence runes glow very bright. Step 2. Great Enchantment. Once you have one rune of each aspect, Fish Age, Fish Age, Potency, Fish Flavor, and Essence, Fish Type. Bring them to an enchanting station. Now, put the runes together and craft your first enchantment. The best way to learn to fish is by fishing, and the same applies to enchanting. The act of creating an enchantment will reveal the meaning and function of unknown runes. Some will say you must comprehend how the rune resonates with your soul to truly understand it, but that's Mage's Guild talk. Step 3. Enchanting items. You have your first enchantment. Now you're ready to enchant your first item. Find the item you want to enchant and apply the enchantment. Easy, no? But of course, it's never that easy. Enchantments are very particular, some best for weapons, others for armor, and still more bind only to jewelry. Some may require higher quality items than what you have on hand. Oh, and if you change your mind later you can re-enchant an item, but adding a new enchantment will remove the old one. Serve the right fish for the right occasion, as my ex-sister says. Appendix. Extracting runes from enchantments. If you have an enchantment you can't use, don't despair. Sell, trade, or gift them to friends who can use them. Of course you can also extract runes from the enchantments at any enchanting station. I call this cutting the fish. This destroys the enchantment in the process, but you'll get one of the runes back that you could use in another enchantment. That's pretty cleverly written, actually. So that guy decided to start attacking the town. Alchemy for my apprentice, but you know who, you know who. My dear apprentice, you have destroyed far too many of my alchemical stocks to go unpunished. My own master would never abide such abject incompetence. Can't take instruction, she'd say. Nose in a book, she'd say. Luckily for your prospects, it is far less costly to write this simple manual than replace yet another cask of rare solvent. If you lose this manual, as I know you will, don't despair. I have invested your annual stipend toward printing multiple copies of this book and distributing them far and wide. In time, every alchemy station in Tamriel shall have one. Step 1. Acquire solvents. You already know that every potion requires a solvent to serve as the potion's base. If you ever paid attention to my lessons, you would know the best solvent is clean water from a natural source. The purity of the water determines the quality of the potion, so the best sources are natural springs. I must once again emphasize the need for fresh sources of water. Remember that incident with the healing draught? You cannot simply tip a flask into a stagnant pond, an ocean goal, or downstream from a tannery. I suppose you could find bottles of clean water about town, but it is best to do the work yourself. Incidentally, your rain barrel solvent will never work. You are to cease your experiments immediately. Step 2. Acquire reagents. Alchemy is a study of combinations. Where solvents are a potion's base, reagents are the active ingredients. Each reagent bears 4 unique traits. I am disinclined to explain the principles of quadratic amalgamation to you again, but do try to remember the basics, match like with like. Henceforth You are to find all reagents in the wilds, not in my laboratory. Remember to look for plants and mushrooms only. Under no circumstances should you deviate from this. Squirrel powder was an abomination against the eight. Furthermore, I must remind you to thoroughly clean both mortar and pestle after their use. Step 3. Craft potions. Bring a solvent and 2 reagents to any alchemy station. Different reagents are required. In fact, I must stress once again, combining Puglos with Puglos gets you nothing but foul-tasting water. When you have what you need, put them together and craft your potion. Reagents with positive trait combinations will produce helpful potions, while those with negative trait combinations can cause harm to whoever is foolish enough to imbibe them. If none of your reagents' traits match, you lose both solvent and reagent. Experiment with different reagents to see what you can produce. I leave it to you to determine their traits, but will remind you that in ingesting, a reagent can teach you its most basic trait. Just one, don't gorge yourself. While I recall of it, did you expect I wouldn't know you had finished off the Nimrod? I could hear your teeth singing, and there's no way to hide a glowing chamber pot. Advanced alchemical principles. Only when you master the basics of alchemy should you think to complicate the process. Through careful study you can learn to suppress negative traits when crafting potions. Craft multiple potions from the simple set of reagents, or even combine additional reagents to produce more powerful potions. But for now, not poisoning yourself is the goal I would most like you to achieve. I really like the style for the alchemy for my apprentice. That was awesome. Taras Taral.
Greetings.
Taras. Oh well. This is the barn.
Doesn't seem like I'm getting much done here.
Yeah, I'm not getting much done either, because I want to read the stuff. This entire session has been all about reading stuff so far. Hi.
Watch your feet. Don't want to end up with pig droppings on them shoes of yours.
You're a farmer?
For all the good it does. Bleak Rock is snowed over 6 months of the year. When it isn't, the soil's poor. We eat a lot of dairy. Aurochs can graze and eat hay from the mainland.
Why did you come here?
The Pact offered a bounty for settlers. They wanted the garrison at the tower to have access to civilization. But you didn't know civilization smells like Auroch dung, eh?
So you mainly live on dairy?
We mainly live on fish. And that crazy Orgonian likes mud crabs. You know what I miss? Apples. Used to get them when I was a boy in Falkreath. No more.
Oh well. Bye. Good luck. Let's go. Nothing over there. Hi, Mala. What? Squeak. Squeak, squeak. Can I help you with something?
I can understand you. Oh my, I'm not a skeever.
Are you supposed to be?
No. Follow me. I'll show you.
Alright, lead on. Start at underfoot. Pick up the wand. Gnarled wand. This sword piece of wood has a carved theatric symbol on its base.
Oh, thank Kine. You have it.
Can you explain what's going on?
My friends and I were out hunting in the woods when a mad mage ran up and began
throwing spells at us. I think he only nicked me. He dropped that wand in the snow as he left.
What does the wand do?
I don't know how spells work. I tried picking up the wand, but it wouldn't let me. I think it does the spell, or undoes it. Look, my friends are Falter, Brend, and Runzenwild. They're skeevers now. Please find them and use the wand to fix them.
I'll look for them, Mola. Let's see. Can I... Nice. I like that you can just hit the T as it shows on the screen and you can change the...
Come and do business.
And you can change the focus of the quest. I think we should start from that way because that's closer to where we need to go for the main quest. Always do side quests first. That's a rule. I can take that butterfly. Paid for fishing. Oh well. Tears. Save Brent. Above me. Somewhere over there. That is a wolf. Blocked. Block that attack. Rawhide scraps. Good. Where is he? Oops. I keep pressing Alt. What does it show? Physical resistance. I wonder how the scaling of the stats works. Because we start out with so much. Puncture increased to rank 2. So you get the skill levels for using them. That's a good way to do these things. Hi, use Cloud Wand. Are you back?
Thanks.
Nice. Too bad I can't talk to you. I actually like that I started in a snowy place. Usually snowy places are really high level. Nice. Bashed. What is this? Intermediate. Nice. 13 gold. Done. Maple ice staff of frost. Add some copper. In the barbaric style. What? I leveled up my one-handed for this? Interesting. A runestone. Nice. So this game will, this world is explorable completely. That's new. Hosian's Folly discovered. Nice. 13 gold, soul gem, empty, used to capture souls, palladium, Ancient Elf style. And the Garnet necklace of reduced spell cost. Mine has increased maximum health by 880. This is reduced magicka cost by spells by 167. Increase maximum magicka by 800. No, not for me. But it is green, so I can... What happened to you? So I can disenchant it probably. Sergeant Zane.
Mind yourself. There are bandits about.
Okay. I can see them.
I broke 6 lockpicks opening an empty chest.
What? Don't have any stamina left. Bandit note. This note is from the leader of the Frost Edge villagers. Interesting, can I read it? Bandit note. The work at Hazin's goes slowly. Capture any villagers you find and bring them back to camp. Then you can trade them for food. We will accept the villagers living or dead, however they want to play it. Njordon Oathbreaker. I have to stop some local bandits. I'll burn their supplies and rescue their prisoners. Burn the supplies. Nice. Can you loot it? Okay, I will. Iron helm. Can I put it on? Yes, I can. 2300 armor. Nice. Looking good. Now, where are the supplies? Around there. I just had to bash him twice. Twice. Nice. Level 4. That's good. Well, I tried to block. But that did not work out as planned. Is there anything in here? That's a brigand. 2 brigands. Ow. I can do this. Now let's check up here. Anything? There are flesh flies? I guess. Oh well. You won't get through my armor. Not easily anyway.
Move now.
Block that one. Nice. Also, for some reason it seems like the FOV... No, the FOV is fine. I have to increase it then. It seems like I'm so close to them, which isn't true. Natural water. Nice. Hi, rabbit. I guess I have to take the rabbit. Yep. Burn the supplies. Somewhere there. That's find. That's the main quest. Whoa, hello. Jeez. Oh, got a iron cuirass. 2400 armor. I have the makings of heavy armor and I got the skill for it. Now this is rank 3 now. Nice. Low slash, surprise an enemy with a deep plunge, dealing 2600 physical damage and reducing their movement speed. Also afflicts the enemy with minor maim, reducing their damage done by 15% for 9 seconds. I maybe want that one. There is also heavy armor. Increases your physical and spell resistance by 120 for each piece of armor equipped. Each piece of heavy armor equipped. That's definitely what I want. You purchase a passive ability. These are always active, granting you their benefits at all times. Passive abilities cannot be placed in the ability bar. Okay. I have 2 pieces of heavy armor so far, I think. Yeah, 2. Let's get this spare too. Whoa. Nice. Hello. Dodge bug thorax. Oh, these are alchemy ones. Interesting. Where are those supplies? Can I see the map? They're over there. Can I go up this mountain? Oh. Was that there on the ground? Wormwood. Oh. Runes. A blue one. Superior ransacker. Yay. I got an achievement. Can I look at achievements? Journal. Yeah, oh. I saw it. Achievements right here. Soul Shriven. Complete main quest chapter 1. Acquire a superior quality item. So that was chapter 1, not prologue. Nice. Burn the supplies around here. Done. Nice. Got him down. Got her down. Burn these. Done. Free the captive. One moment, I want a chest. Intermediate. Nice! I got that so easily. Rawhide Boots of Health. 313 health. Increases this item's armor value by 13%. Awesome. This is a lot better than my current ones. And looks better too. Because I had just regular sandals. Which aren't... Hi. Can I get ya? And this girl. Done. Maple shield. Is that better than mine? Mine is also a maple shield, but it looks different. 1500. It has a more interesting shape, that's for sure. Huh. Who are you? Nordun the Oathbreaker. A boss. We have a boss fight. Ow. No, you don't. Nice. did it! Maple restoration stuff. Oh, I don't have any, so I can't get the loot. That's sad. Bow, take it. I will be back. If I remember, I will be back here soon. Heavy armor increased to 5. Hi.
You're not one of the bandits. Help
How
me.
did they capture you?
They got me in the forest. We were gathering firewood. Dedring, my brother, tried to fight. They split his skull with an axe. I thought I was a dead man until you arrived.
Let me untie you.
Shaw's bones. Thank you. I'd like to kill every one of those bandits, but I'm no fighter. I'm glad you are. Kill a few for Dedring. I'll buy you a drink back at the village.
Okay. Rescue the prisoner at Frost Ledge Camp. Medium armor to 3, but there are only these two. Puncture increased to rank 4. Nice. Heavy armor does 6. Now we need to find the other two of these skeevers. One is down there. No, that's a mud crab. On the other side. Jeez, that mud crab is tough. Okay, let's get that rune. Fishing hole. Need bait. I have plenty of bait. Another blue one. Hi, skeever.
My gratitude.
There you go. Now one more. But there is also a bear. Got this bear down. One more over there. That's the main story. But first I want to go there. What is this? Battleflow fishing camp. And another rune. And more iron. I get a lot of stuff. That's great. Apprentice crafting harvester. I will get all the achievements I can get. I'm gonna go through the water. The skiver might be that there. Are you? Yes, you are.
I am obliged to you.
Nice. Now, where are you, Molla? I also have to remember that I'm gonna return to the village, and I can talk to the person again. Where is she? She's back at the village. They both are back at the village. So I think I will go there now. I can return later. The main will probably take me back there anyway, so I have to report back each time, I'm sure. Another rune. Hi, Rolanda.
Come to prove your courage? So did my brother. Now he's gone.
Captain Reina sent me. I'm here to help.
Thank you. I just hope we are not too late. My brother never was the sharpest sword on the rock, but he's all I've got left.
Your brother is missing?
Ayman is inside this cave, somewhere. The Frozen Man does all sorts of things to people who enter his domain. I can't leave Ayman in there. Since father died and mother left, he's all I have.
Who is this Frozen Man?
No one knows. He takes people who enter Orchi's Hollow. Now he's taken my brother. I should stop sharpening this blade. You must go inside. I just can't.
Stay here. I'll find Ayman.
We knew a man, old Rory. He went in. When the soldiers dragged him out, he was missing all his bones. I'll give you until my fire burns out. Then I'm coming in after you.
How long has this cave been haunted?
About 10 years ago. There was a collapse somewhere inside. After that, people started disappearing. As long as I can remember, the cave's been forbidden. Captain Rana lectures us every time someone goes in to prove how brave they are.
Tell me about Ayman.
He drinks too much, fights too much, and doesn't have the sense Kain gave a Horka. He's the best cook on the island, though. Since father died fighting the Akaviri, we've only had each other.
Okay, goodbye. I will go there then. I leveled up and gained 2 skill points. Nice. Increases your health recovery by 2%. You restore 108 magic and stamina when you take damage for each piece of heavy armor equipped. This effect can occur once every 8 seconds. This can be useful. This can definitely be useful for the magic and stamina regeneration. Okay. So, low slash. Or passives maybe. Reduces the stamina cost of your one hand and shield abilities by 5% and reduces the cost of blocking by 18%. For sure, that's something I need. Alright. So one more here, and then here. I will go health and with some stamina. So now I have 18,000 health and 14,800 stamina. I don't know how efficient that is, but it works. And I think I will leave it off here. This seems to be a dungeon run, I don't know how long it will take. So it might get its own separate episode. A sky shard. Pieces collected 2 out of 3. Sky shard absorbed. Need to find one more then. Thank you for watching. And I will see you next time. When we enter the Orcus Hollow.